Hello. Have you forgotten about me? I haven't forgotten about you. I'm Melissa, and this is the Meltran Designs podcast, episode 20 something, 28. I'll put it right here where the white will show up against the couch. I don't remember and I forgot to look. I'm so sorry. It's been a really long time since I've recorded a normal podcast, and it's been crazy, and you'll see why. Today is Sunday, July 7th. I wrote these notes 2 days ago when I planned on recording, and then this happened and that happened, and Kyan ended up not feeling well at church today, so the rest of the family is still there, and she is laying down, and I'm here. So I thought, hey, there's no one here but the two of us. I can record really quick. Well, I don't know how quick it'll be, but they're going to be home in about 55 minutes, so my plan is to be done before they get home. I hope you've been well, and welcome to new people, and welcome back to all of you regulars, and I hope you enjoy our time together. Make yourselves comfortable, because this is a recap of pretty much like half my life, I feel like. There's been a lot that has happened in the last 3 weeks, 2 weeks, whatever, and I'm going to catch you up on it. I'll probably move kind of quickly because, like I said, I want to cover everything, and I do have knitting and things like that I want to talk about as well, but I don't want to forget all of the things that have gone on. I am spinning today because it is Tour de Fleece, and I was able to get caught up from missing the first couple days, and then Thursday, with it being the 4th, I didn't do any crafting, and then Friday I ended up not spinning either, so I'm catching up. I know there are 2 rest days during the Tour de France. Anyways, I'm just going to spin every day. So yeah, I'll talk about what I'm spinning later in the spinning section. So let's talk about the Zombie Apocalypse recap. So Thursday of that week, which was the 20th of June, I was up extremely early after only a couple hours of sleep, and was at the airport by, I don't know, 5 a.m. and my plane left at 5:45. I was able to get to Minneapolis just fine. It was a bumpy ride, not gonna lie. I don't enjoy bumpy flights, but what can I say? So I was knitting and watching a movie on my phone, and that helped the time to go by a lot faster. And when I got there, Heather was already there, and we were able to meet up. And Kim was coming to get us, but she was running a little bit late, so we got to hang out, I think, for about an hour, 45 minutes to an hour. I honestly don't remember the exact amount of time. It was kind of nice, just sitting and hanging out together and chatting and recovering from being up so early in the morning. So Kim got there, picked us up, and we drove down to Rochester, which was about 80 miles, so it took us about an hour. And we met up with Josh, Haley, Lisa, and Kira at Noodles and Company and had some lunch / dinner. Was it lunch? Yeah, lunch. Later than we thought, but yeah, it was still lunchtime because we went to dinner later. Sorry. Anyway, we had lunch and then went to the hotel and got checked in. We weren't able to go to a room right away because we wanted to try to be closer to them, and they were able to get us a room up on their floor, but it still had to be cleaned. So we were able to put our stuff in someone else's room and get started with the retreat, and we met people and just kind of hung out. Then a few of us went to dinner. It was Anastasia and Heather and Kim and myself. We went to Greek food. I'd never had Greek food before, so that was fun. Had my first gyro, and we convinced Anastasia to move into our room because there were 3 of us and 4 spots. So she transferred into our room, which I'm so happy about because she and I, we got along fine, like on the VKNs and stuff, but in person, we really, really got along well. Get along well, whatever. Anyway, I was very happy she moved into our room. So anyway, then Thursday night they had prize drawings every night and things like that, and we just, knit and all that. um, let's see, okay, no, Friday. By the time Kim and I finally went down, it was when people were starting to plan where they were going for lunch. And I ended up jumping in with a group that was going to go to sushi. The sushi place was closed, even though there was a big banner that said they were open for lunch. So instead, we went to a tapas restaurant. Well, they don't serve tapas for lunch, but they served other good things. I had a really yummy sandwich and chips, and it was good. We had a lot of fun. When we were walking back to the hotel, we came across the bead store. I showed the yarn ball looking beads in my stash enhancement episode. We found the bead store on accident. We just walked past it, went in there for a little while, and then worked our way back to the hotel. And then we had decided we were going to go to sushi for dinner, since it didn't work for lunch, which was good. And then I ended up, well, I don't remember exactly when it happened, but I saw Vicky, who's Heartland Knits, and I forgot that I had responded to a flirt that she did where she said she was wanted to do Chester's for dinner, and I said I wanted to go. So she reminded me that. I was like, oh yeah. So I told my sushi pals that I would not be going there because I already had dinner plans. But in the meantime, I had signed up to go to Ginny's fabric store because they have a wall of buttons, and I wanted to go look at buttons, and those are the ones that were the teal kind of mother of pearl looking shell type buttons that I got. The ones that Megan also bought. Okay, so that was there. The humidity that day was really, really affecting me. I don't remember if I talked about that in my last episode. I've never been in actual humidity before, and because I live in a desert, and I didn't mind it. Like my skin and my body, I didn't mind it. I didn't mind, breathing in the thicker air. But I have inner ear problems where I struggle with vertigo and get motion sick at the drop of a hat. And because there was a storm coming in, it was not only higher humidity than normal. It was pretty high pressure in the air as well, and those two things combined were making me nauseous. I was on the verge of having a full-blown vertigo attack or whatever you call it, and anyway, I had to move very slowly and deliberately. I couldn't turn around quickly. I had to be really careful. I was drinking a lot of really cold water, which helps, but it was just, it was horrible. Well, luckily, I met the wonderful Daisy Knits, who had some wristbands, motion sick wristbands, and some peppermint oil. So I put the bands on and put the peppermint oil behind my ears and some on my forehead because it's cooling. So I put it on my forehead. And between those two things, it helped so much. I was still a little bothered, but I wasn't sick anymore, which was nice because you don't want to be on vacation and be sick. So, I mean, I was still functional, but not feeling well. So, anyway, I was so glad to have met her, not just because she was able to give me that stuff, but because we hit it off really well, and I had so much fun hanging out with her. And she has beautiful yarn if you want to go check her out on Etsy. And it's Daisy is Daizie. Yeah. Anyway, so then later, after that all got taken care of and whatnot, we sat and kind of just hung out and knit, and then it was time for dinner. So I went with the group to Chester's, and what was neat about that was we had patio seating, but they aren't an outdoor restaurant. They're completely enclosed in kind of a mall type thing. And so we were out in the hall, which was really neat because the restaurant was extremely full and noisy. So we were able to sit outside with being outside and could hear each other and talk and had a great time. And we got to see some of our friends, walking by through there because it was just across the street from the hotel. And then after dinner, we went upstairs to a chocolate shop, and I got some goodies that are all gone now, of course. And I got some stuff for the kids that I brought home that they loved. So then we had prize drawings, blah, blah. Okay, that was Friday. Saturday was the market, and that was a lot of fun. I got a picture of everybody lined up. We were closer to the front, and while we were waiting, I was able to hang out with Haley a little bit and got our picture taken together, and that was fun. And then we got to storm the marketplace, and that's where I got all my goodies that I showed you. And what was fun about the market was in the afternoon, the second the second go round, it was open for 2 hours, closed for an hour for lunch, then open again. By the time the end came, there weren't a lot of people in there, so I was able just to kind of, talk to the vendors and, just kind of mosey around and just kind of be in there. It was nice. So that was really like the main thing on Saturday was the market. I finally won my prize, my door prize drawing, which was Soft Bunny Studios yarn in a worsted weight. I put all my yarn away a couple days ago, and it looks pretty over my cubbies. I kind of redid my cubbies a little bit. It looks so pretty, so I'm not going to pull it out. Saturday we stayed up pretty late, and I was upstairs watching a game of Cards Against Humanity. I wasn't playing it just because it was already started when I got up there, and I know you can join in, but I just wanted to sit and knit and just kind of hang out. So anyway, Sunday, we didn't leave the hotel until like 1. There were a few people there were a couple people that were staying another night, and there were a few people who were waiting for shuttles and whatnot, and we just didn't have to leave yet, so we stayed with them, and that was fun. There was just a handful of us sitting in the lobby. We had already checked out of our rooms, and done all of that, and that was very enjoyable. I really liked, kind of coming off of the high of the weekend with just a few people. And then Kim and Anastasia and I headed up to Minneapolis, where we dropped Anastasia off at the airport, and then Kim dropped me off at my hotel. And I got to go and be by myself for like 6 hours, 6 hours. It was incredible. I love being around people. I'm very social. I thrive off of the energy of others. But after 4 days, 4 very, very busy days, it was nice to just be alone. I took a shower, went over to TGI Fridays and had dinner, and then just came back to the room and watched some Netflix and waited for my mother-in-law to get there. And then she got there about 10. And then the next day, Monday, was our Mall of America day. The hotel we stayed at was right across the street, so we went to IHOP for breakfast because we missed the breakfast at the hotel. And we went over to the Mall of America and spent like 8 hours there. We got to see so many cool things. It's such a neat place. Going into it, I was like, really? You want to spend that much time at a mall? A mall's a mall, but it was so much fun. They have an amusement park in the center, which we did not participate in because I don't enjoy rides a whole lot. Roller coasters and things like that. It's just not for me. But they had really interesting stores, and the people there were really nice, and so that was a lot of fun. She kind of spoiled me. We went to the Crocs store, and they were having a sale, and she bought me some sandals, because Crocs don't just make the clogs that everybody knows about. She bought me sandals, and she bought me a really pretty necklace and earrings set, and also another pair of earrings, which I was going to have them here. and they're right there. I'm not going to get up. You'll see them. If I'm wearing them in the future, I'll point them out. Anyway, we just had so much fun. So much fun. We got to eat at Bubba Gump Shrimp that night. And then went back to the hotel. And then Tuesday, we went back over to the mall for a little bit. Needed to kind of finish some stuff that we did the day before. And then we went back to the hotel and just kind of vegged, which she was feeling like she needed to, entertain me and, take me to all these places and stuff. And I was just so exhausted. Being gone, was really starting to catch up with me. And I said, really, it's okay if we just go sit in the hotel room for a while. I'm really okay with it. So we went back to the hotel. I did a hangout with my family, so we could see each other and they could see their grandma. The kids could see their grandma, and Jake could see his mom. And I showed him the stuff that we bought and showed him the stuff I bought them, and ate some leftovers. I love leftovers. So yeah, we did that, and then that night we went out to Chanhassen for a dinner theater, and we got to watch Joseph and the Amazing Technicolor Dreamcoat, which was a lot of fun. It was a play that I'd never seen before, and I'd never been to a dinner theater, so that was a really neat experience. They got to interact with the audience a lot more than you would in a regular theater, so that was a really, really neat experience, and I'm so happy that we got to do that. Then Wednesday was going home day, but I wasn't leaving until 9:45 that night. So Elizabeth came to pick me up, and my mother-in-law left to go home. She had a 7-hour drive back to North Dakota, so she left, and Elizabeth and I headed over into Minneapolis, well, into the, right into town, and we went to Stephen B's first, which is a yarn store. He works a lot with Stephen West, and he was amazing. He was there, which was so much fun. I got to meet him, and the store is seriously floor-to-ceiling yarn. It's crazy. I took some pictures. I plan to put all sorts of pictures at the end of this with captions and things like that. We had a lot of fun. We actually spent quite a bit of time there because you have to see everything they have. I didn't really have any room or budget to buy a whole lot, so I bought one thing. I brought it over here. He has some exclusive colorways that are dyed just for his store, which is, I guess, the definition of exclusive. And one of them is from Madeline Tosh. It's called Stephen B. Blue. And here it is. I bought a skein of Tosh DK, which is, if you're not familiar with it, it's 100% superwash merino wool, DK weight 225 yards. So it's a very, very beautiful, stunning blue. And I don't think the computer can capture it. It's just beautiful. I don't know what I'm going to make with it. I wanted to get something from there, and I wanted to get something exclusive. So there's what I got. I had my cursed cable mitts with me the whole weekend, and everyone loved them who I showed them to, and including Steven. So he wants me to get in touch with him when I release the pattern, which I plan to do. So after that, what did we do? We went to another yarn store. I can't remember the name of it though, and I feel really bad because it was really cute. Yarnopoly. Does it say on here? No. I think it's something like that. Anyways, they had these really cute little bags. And, I mean, they had bigger ones too. But this is designed by a graphic designer in Cape Town, South Africa. As soon as she said South Africa, she had me. As soon as she said Cape Town, she had me even more. So this graphic designer draws up stuff and then has it put onto fabric and made into bags. I know you can't see it, the pictures fully because it's such a small bag, but I wanted to get something, and I really didn't have room. I didn't need another larger bag, and I figured this would fit in my back pocket if I needed it to. So anyway, I bought this really cute little bag. Then after that, we headed over to her house and hung out for a little bit. And then we went and got some food. No, did we get food first? No, first I asked her if I could see the Mississippi River because it runs through Minneapolis, and I've never seen it before, and I don't know when I'm going to get the chance to see it again. I'm sure I will eventually, but I just never had, and even though it's not, you know, the widest part and all that kind of stuff, it's still the Mississippi, you know. So she took me over to see that, which I took pictures and a couple little videos of, and I'll put those at the end. And it's weird because the water's brown, and I know, you know, people talk about the muddy Mississippi and whatnot, but it's just so weird because the water here in rivers and stuff is not dirty. It's mountain water, and the bottom, if you hear a do 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 type thing, Kyan's playing on my phone. I don't know if it's carrying through in here, but I can hear it. So just in case you do, it's my phone. Anyway, so the rivers here have a rock bed. So instead of mud, it's rocks and sand, and so the water's clear. So that was kind of an interesting thing to see, you know, at a different place. And it was also really interesting to look around and see no mountains. That's not something I'm used to, and I'm not saying that it's a bad thing. It's just not something I'm used to because we're kind of surrounded by mountains where we are. Even though, yes, we live in a desert, it's an upper elevation desert. So, yeah, I mean, we have been up in the mountains this whole last week off and on, and, you know, you're there within an hour or less than an hour, just depending on which one you're going to. So, anyway, just, it was interesting being in a, you know, new place and seeing new things. I did really like it there. I like Minneapolis. It's a neat city, and I was happy to get to go around, you know, around town and stuff like that. Then we went to have some food at one of her favorite places to take visitors. It's just kind of a burger and fry joint type. I mean, it's a restaurant, but you go there to get burgers, fries, shakes, you know, that kind of stuff. And it was neat on the menu under French fries. It says hand cut, or made with hand cut Idaho russet potatoes. And I mean, we buy Idaho russet potatoes all the time. We get the small ones, not the big ones that other places get, because those are kind of our big export for the state, because Idaho's a potato state. But we buy the smaller russet potatoes, which are just regular brown ones, and we get them for insanely cheap. It's like, I don't know, $2 for 20 pounds or something like that. But I pointed it out to Elizabeth and then to the waitress that I flew all the way to Minneapolis from Idaho so I could have Idaho potato French fries. So anyway, that was just kind of a fun thing to see. I'm used to it. I've gone other places that advertise having real Idaho potatoes, but not somewhere that far away. So that was fun. So after that, we went back to her house, and because we had a little bit of time before I needed to leave, and I told her, I said, you don't have to feel like you have to entertain me. We can just go hang out. It's totally fine. And she had really cute dogs and a beautiful kitty that I got to pet and play with, and just drank some water and sucked some more air out of my space bags that I went and bought the night before to try to get everything home. I wish I would have taken pictures of how I had everything packed. I had 2 space bags in my suitcase. I had a pair of shoes in each of the sleeves of my hoodie. My tote bag was totally full. I mean, it was so uncomfortable to carry and walk through the airport with. But I didn't have to mail anything. Not that I was opposed to it. I just wanted to see if I didn't have to. So anyway. So then she took me to the airport where I breezed right through security and got to my gate, plugged my phone in, and hung out for about an hour and a half, knitting, of course. Got on my flight. It was uneventful, a little bit bumpy here and there, not too bad, not like the way over. And yeah, got home at about midnight, came in and promptly passed out, and recovered on Thursday. And then Friday, after Jake got off work, we headed for the mountains and went camping for the weekend, which was so much fun. It's actually the first time we've gone with all of our kids as a family camping. Jake and I loved camp, but when the kids were really little, we always had a baby that was, either crawling or would have eaten the dirt, and camping is supposed to be fun. You're not supposed to be paranoid that your kid is gonna, swallow a poisonous bug that they decide to pick up off the ground while they're crawling around. And anyways, and then we were gonna go last year because they were plenty big enough last year, and we just didn't. So we went, and it was a blast. We found a great spot right by the water. The kids played in that water all day long on Saturday, and we made s'mores and roasted hot dogs over the fire and just had a great time. There was a hiking trail just across the dirt road from where we were camped, and so we did that, which was awesome, beautiful. I have pictures of that as well. And yeah, and then by the time Sunday came, I was really, really ready to be home. I was ready to be home for like multiple days in a row. And I was glad that we went, but glad that we were done. And then Monday, Tuesday went by. Wednesday night, which was July 3rd, we went over to our friend's house. They always do their own personal fireworks the night before the 4th because they go over to her husband's family's house to watch big fireworks. So we did that with them. We did that last year too, and it was fun. And then Thursday was the 4th. We decided to go back up to the mountains. We have a place where we go for Anansi's birthday. It's called Moore's Creek, and it's just kind of a day camp area, and the water is amazing. It was warm. Like I'm not a huge swimmer. I was in that water. It was so much fun. It's shallow enough that the kids can play in it. There's a little bit of a deeper part where you can actually swim. Anansi learned how to do the back float, which was huge for, such a big thing for her. And she and Jake they'd start here and they'd say, okay, let's see who can go the longest. And then they would just float and the water would carry them. And they would go until they hit rocks because there was a spot where it got really shallow. So their butts would hit the rocks and they'd have to stop and go back upstream and go down again. So much fun. We, took some food up there and just really enjoyed the nice weather. Thursday night, we went over to Caldwell, which is the city where I grew up, and watched the fireworks there, which we always do, and they're always amazing. And then we go over to the high school parking lot and let off our own, which is fun. The kids are old enough now that they can light some of the fireworks with someone standing next to them. They always have Daddy standing there. So that was fun. And then Friday, I don't think we did anything. Pause. Last week, we joined the Nampa Rec Center, which is kind of like the YMCA. It's a gym, but it also has a big pool and a track and classrooms where they have like aerobics classes and stuff like that. So more like the Y, like a community center than just a regular gym. So we joined last week again, which I've been wanting to do for a long time, and we figured out how to fit it into our budget. And I started going to classes again. I love exercise classes. I love exercising. And this is going to help a lot get me back in shape for, not back in shape, but in better shape for clogging. So I did a Zumba class, a couple Zumba classes, and a kickboxing class, which that's my favorite. I will be going to that multiple times a week because it's absolutely my favorite. I lost a dress size in a month leading up to my sister's wedding just by going to kickboxing classes. So anyway, Friday we didn't do anything. Saturday, yesterday, I went to a Zumba class in the morning, and then we decided, well, yesterday was scheduled a one-day adventure, and so we went back up into the mountains to a little town called Placerville that has a population of like, I don't know, 10. A lot of people have kind of like summer cabins up there and whatnot, but not a lot of people live there year round. I don't think it's actually 10, it might be like 20, but not that many people. And they have an old pioneer cemetery that we went to that's really neat. I took a couple pictures of that just to show how old it is. Some of the very first settlers of Idaho are buried there. And we didn't know that they have a big kind of festival is the only word that comes to mind. The Saturday that's closest to the 4th of July, they have kind of some vendors, and they have homemade pie and ice cream, and they do fireworks that night. Anyway, we walked around in the the few little vendors they had there. There was a couple of men who had a teepee set up, who they actually were staying in the teepee. They they own it and stay in it. But we got to go in, and he was incredible. The man was telling us how he set it up, and the air conditioning system that they have. The natural airflow air conditioning system was absolutely amazing. The Indians were geniuses. Seriously, like, wow. I was blown away. The kids got to make some beaded bracelets. We had lunch there. Then we went and got some, well, we had taken stuff for lunch with us because we didn't know we were gonna be right there. And then we went and bought some homemade pie. I had a mixed berry pie, and Jake had a pineapple elderberry pie, and the kids got ice cream. And we decided to go drive around some more because it was only like 5, and we didn't even know if we were going to stay for the fireworks, because by the time we stayed for them, because here, it doesn't get dark here until about 10. I have fuzzies in my nose. Until about 10 at night, and we were about an hour and a half away from home, and I was just like, I don't think I want to be out that late. We didn't plan, we didn't have a lot of food set out for the dogs because we were just going to be gone for a few hours. And anyway, so we decided to go drive around, found some other little towns. I love it up there. So this whole thing was just so Idaho. I mean, the people, I love Idaho. And if you ever want to come visit, I'd be more than happy to take you up in the mountains and take you up there and show you all the really neat things. Just saying. We found stairs that led to nothing right on the side of the road. It was a staircase that used to lead to a house. That you could see the foundation, but there was no house there. I took pictures of that because it was really cool. And climbed part of the mountain while we were up there, and just explored, and it was so much fun. And then we went into a little town called Garden Valley and stopped at the store, used the bathroom, bought some pop. They have huckleberry, they had sarsaparilla, and they had honey cream. So instead of like a vanilla cream soda, it was honey cream, which was really good. We just kind of passed them around. We haven't drank the huckleberry one yet. We'll do that today because we got kind of full. So that was yesterday. Came home last night, got everybody showered, and the kids put to bed. And I was going to record last night. Well, by the time that all happened and the kids got in bed and all that, it was 10:45, and I was like, ugh, I could record. I've recorded later than that, but I just didn't have the energy. I wasn't super tired, but I I just wanted to veg and watch some Netflix and spin and knit a little bit. So that's what I did. So here you have me today. We're now caught up 35 minutes in. I hope you enjoyed my stories. If I think of anything else later on or anything like that, then I will bring it up. I did want to say a special hello to a couple people from the retreat. Sarah, who is Save the Planet. She made my day on the day that we met. One thing that I, a little bit selfishly, wanted to have happen was that someone would come and introduce themselves to me who I wasn't expecting already to meet, who watches the podcast. Not to boost myself up or anything. It's just nice to know that people watch. You know what I mean? And she caught me off guard a little bit because I was standing out in the lobby with having just taken a bite of a cinnamon roll and was getting water, so I had crap all over my hands and stuff in my mouth, and she comes over and introduces herself really fast, and I was like, hi, and I had food in my mouth, and I was like, hold on a minute so I could shake your hand, and she says, no, you don't have to. I said, yes, I do. Yes, I'm a hugger, but when I first meet someone, I also like to, I don't know, maybe it's a church thing because you shake hands, but it's kind of, for me, it's kind of like making your meeting official, you know, acknowledging that person. I don't know, that's what I do. So, got my hands cleaned up, swallowed my food, shook her hand, talked to her for a while. We weren't able to talk for a really long time right then, but we were able to hang out after that, some different times here and there, and she was just so sweet and wonderful, and I'm talking about her like I know, like she's not watching, but Sarah, I'm so happy that you introduced yourself, and I was so happy to meet you, and she is going to have a little baby, and I'm so excited for her, and she was one of 3 pregnant people there. That was fun to see the little baby bumps. So anyway, I want to say hi to Sarah, and I also want to say hi to Deb C. Quilts, because she was another that made it a point to come meet me. I knew she was going to be there, but and I just want to tell her thank you, and she knows why. And I'm not trying to be secretive. Well, I am kind of, but thank you, Deb. You also made my day that day, because those were 2 separate days. So see, 2 people made 2 days. Anyway, thank you both. All right, moving on. Let me see if that's everything. I think it is. So I can stop. Well, I can't keep spinning because I'm going to talk about what's coming up / what's going on. 2 things are going on. One is Tour de Fleece. If you haven't been participating, jump in. Just start spinning every day, even if it's just for 15 minutes. You will be a better spinner at the end, even if you're already an amazing one. So that goes until the 21st of this month. The Even Star Knit Along has started on my in my group. There are some people posting about it and talking about it. I felt so bad. I was in a VKN the other night when I went to check the group and saw that people had been posting. I said, oh, I hate it that I can't even participate in my own knit along right now. It made me so sad that people were posting and I couldn't post back. I mean, I can post back, but I couldn't respond with, here's my gauge swatch and here's what I'm doing, and anyway. I'm happy that people started though, and I will be joining in as soon as I have the yarn. So, which I don't know when that will be. My plan is to use this rainbow yarn that I'm spinning right now, but if my other 2 sets of 4 ounces go like the first one did, I'm going to have way more yardage than I need, and I don't want to have any left over. I want to show the whole rainbow. So we'll see what happens. There's a chance that this will end up getting turned into like a sweater or something, and well, what I'll do is after I'm done with this 4 ounces, if I see that it's going to be too much yarn, I'll just order some lace weight. I don't know from whom yet, but I'm leaning towards maybe Highland Handmaids because she has even star sized skeins. Anyway, even star knit along is going on. Please come join us. Okay, moving along. Knit with your hand spun knit along is going to be August and September, August 1st through September 30th of this year. And it's just to celebrate having finished Tour de Fleece. Even if you didn't participate in it this year and you have some hand spun from before, that's fine. If you don't have your own hand spun, there are lots of places you can buy it, or if you have a friend who spins, you know, anything like that. Just knitting with hand spun of any sort in the next couple months. There are a couple of prizes that have been donated. I'm going to go ahead and put this up for now. I have this fiber that I showed you in my last regular podcast that was donated by a friend of mine from Raven Ridge Fiber Arts. It's hand painted comb top Polworth Tussa silk, 85% Polworth, 15% Tussa, in the Bruce Blue, oh my gosh, blue spruce colorway. Here it is. Lovely blues and greens and gray blues. Here's kind of that nice gray. And anyway, very pretty color. So this is up for you to win. And also, when I was going through my cubbies, I decided to donate this yarn. This is Lorna's Laces Shepherd Sock. It's an 80-20 wool nylon blend, 430 yards. And it's the November 2012 colorway called Rusty Bucket. So I still can't figure out how it's a rusty bucket with the pink, but whatever. Okay, there's pink and it's kind of a gray purple. It's kind of a charcoal gray, but it has purple undertones, and it has actual purple, and then kind of a wine color here going into this nice burnt orange, and then that turns into the pink. So anyway, and because I know that not everybody likes what's given away and whatnot, what I'll probably do is open up different threads for the different items. You know, you might hate this colorway, so obviously you wouldn't want to win it necessarily. So if you have something that you would like to donate for a prize, whether it's a pattern if you're a designer, or fiber or yarn or stitch markers or anything like that, please let me know. I would love to share that with my viewers. So, all right, is that everything coming up? Oh, there is a retreat that I have tentatively added to my schedule. If you watch Heather, Fiberista Files, Highland Handmaids, she announced that she and Katie, who's JetGirl1313 from the Knitting on the Fly podcast, the two of them are going to be hosting a retreat together in October. I have started stalking the airline websites. I've always dreamed of going to Maine, and a knitting retreat at a lodge in Maine in October. Need I say more? Try to come, please. Then I can meet you. Oh, I forgot to show you. At the festival thingy yesterday, there was a blacksmith who hand forges these rings. Oh, you can't see it because of my stupid thing. It has. I'll take a picture. I bought this really pretty ring, and it's handmade, and it's sterling silver, and I love it, love it, love it. So I'll take a picture of it so you can see. Okay. Moving on. Oh, sorry, I have fiber in my nose now. So if I mess with my nose, I'm sorry. Works in progress. I have one right now. And it's something that, it's yarn that I bought at the retreat. I have all this yarn that I've had before that. As soon as I bought this, I was like, oh my gosh, I have to knit with it right away. It's the BFL Alpaca Aran weight that I got from Mary Gale, who is Spartacus Dyes. And I am making a sweater out of it. If I can get it opened up here. Here's what it looks like. It's all different shades of blue. And what I'm doing is I'm doing a yoke topped sweater here. I started just about an inch before you put the sleeves on, knit back and forth, and then did the sleeves, and I'm joining it because I know I don't have enough yarn to make a full sweater. So the sleeves are actually going to be short sleeved. I did the seed stitch border here, and I'm also doing a seed stitch border here in the front on each side. And what I did was I used a provisional cast on, which you can't really tell because the color blends quite well, but it's a different yarn. So when I finish the top, then I will pull this out and go down literally until I run out of yarn. It'll probably be a shorter sweater, and this also puts it in this spot where I can decrease just below the bust to save on yarn, make it go farther. The book that I'm using for the guidelines is The Knitter's Handy Book of Sweater Patterns by Ann Budd, and I'm just doing the seamless yoke sweater. So anyway, if you aren't familiar with these books, they're awesome. The way it works is you have these charts here, and you figure right here it has numbers that it says 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and this is how many stitches per inch. And then you go over here and you figure out which bust size you are, 36 all the way up to 54. And then it tells you, you find that, and that's the number that you follow every time there's one of these. Cool, huh? And there's kids versions as well. I'm just obviously in the adult section. So there's that. For FOs, let's see if that'll stay up. Okay, I have not a ton of time and need to finish the knitting content now. Okay. For FOs, I think I just had the one Good and Plenty Cursed Cable knit last time I recorded because I had pictures done with my uncle. Well, I finished the second knit, and if I had it done already before, you could see them again. I am so in love with this pattern, and like I said, I got huge response from people about this pattern. They are very excited about it. I'm very excited about it, and I hope you are too. So anyway, there's that, and I decided while I was there, or before I left, I wanted to make a pair out of some solid yarn. So I had this yarn that, dang it, I found out what it was, and now Ella Rae something lace. Shoot. I took a picture of it. I'll put it in. Anyway, it's actually a little snug because it's not a true, it's between a lace and a fingering, so it's more like a light fingering weight. So you can see here, there's that fuzzy. I don't know if you'll be able to see. See how it's kind of open. It's a little more stretched out on either side of the cable, which I think looks kind of cool. It makes it look almost lacy, but they're nice and snug, which I do like. I might give them to Anansi because she was wanting some, and they're a little shorter because I did the same number of repeats, but you know, the yarn is smaller. So anyways, I do really love them. I wanted to be able to get a picture of them, you know, in a solid so people could see how it pops. So that one seems to be, this one's lacier than this one. I wonder why. I don't know. We'll figure it out. Anyway, so there we go. Those are finished. I was on kind of a finishing kick. I finished my hitchhiker that I started so long ago that Josh gave me the pattern to. Megan actually worked on this during, Megan from Stockinette Zombies. We had a podcaster breakout session where it was just kind of an open forum where we all sat in the front and people just, you know, kind of asked questions and things like that. It was nothing fancy, nothing structured really. It was just question and answer. It was so much fun. So she didn't have anything to work on, and I said, I have a hitchhiker you could work on. She's like, okay. So she knit on this for a while, and then I decided to get it done. So here it is. I don't have the ball band. If you want to know the yarn, PM me and I'll tell you. I talked about it before when I started knitting this, so if you watched that podcast, you can go back to that. But if you want to know specifically, I will look it up. I'm really sorry. It's in my stash, I think. It's called Crayons, Krayyonz, Crayons. And I don't remember if I started a project or if I left it. Go through my Ravelry stuff. It's either in my projects or in my stash. I just can't remember off the top of my head. I'm not going to try it right now. I have a lot left. I have a ball that's probably this big. It's like 25 grams. So I don't know what I'm going to do with it. But anyway, I love this. It's not kind of the normal colors that you would put together, this neon yellow and then a navy blue and a dark red, and there's a lot of purple in it where the blue and the red combine. I love how the colors flash pooled there, and I just love this. Love it, love it, love it. And I like that it's not quite so dressy like a lot of my shawls are, so I can wear it with jeans and a t-shirt if I wanted to, and it would look totally fine. So anyway, that is all that's finished. FO's spinning. I have been spinning. This is the first 4 ounces of the 12 ounces. This is not going to show up correctly because red and orange never do. In fact, that's red, not orange. A very bright cherry red. And I don't expect it to show up right because cameras go weird. The orange is not that yellow. It's more orange. I'll try and get a picture. I do have pictures. I put one up on Instagram and one up on Plurk. I'll see if I can get it into Ravelry or something if you want to see. But anyways, this is it progressed from red to orange. There's a whole section where there was more red than orange, and so you have kind of the blending of the two. So that'll be a nice transition. And this is 4 ounces. Remember, I had the 2 bags of fiber. 1 ounce each color in both, so 2 ounces of each color. So what I'm doing is spinning 1 ounce of each on a bobbin and then plying them together. So this first 4 ounces in a 2-ply is 660 yards, and that's why I think I might end up having too much, because if I have 6 3 times, I'm going to have over 1,800 yards, and that's like a whole color that I won't get to, and I don't want to have that happen. So it's 100% Polworth. I don't remember if I said that. It is super squishy. I am very much in love with it. It's very thin. Let's see if I can get a piece to show you. And I mean, it did poof up, but even the spots that it poofed up, it's like that's the thickest. The rest of them are very thin. So I'm kind of leaning towards wanting to do a sweater out of it now. Do just like a top down and then end up with like purple sleeves or something. I don't know. Anyway, I have the yellow right now on my bobbin. I have this much left of the first ounce. So that's what I was working on. I actually saved some of the orange away and blended it with the yellow so that I could have kind of a yellow-orange blend at the beginning of that, because the orange won't be plied with it. So that is all that I'm spinning for right now. After I'm done with the yellow-green, I might take a break and grab one of my other braids and just do like some chunky or something, just for something different. I don't know. I haven't decided yet, because I mean, I want to finish this, but it's really thin and it's the same thing, you know what I mean? So all right, for designing, I'm working on writing up the mitten pattern. My computer, dang it, my computer, the cooling fan isn't working right, and actually the only reason this is working is because I have an ice pack underneath it with a towel wrapped around it to keep it cool. So anyway, not making excuses, I just need to get that fixed. So I need to finish writing up my mitten pattern and get it out to test knitters, because I think that pattern's gonna, help pay for me to go to Maine. So yes. And then for acquisitions, I know that there's stuff that I didn't cover that I got because I got things after I recorded last time and things like that. This is already a long enough episode. I don't want to add a bunch of things. I did want to show you this that I got in the mail. I had some Jimmy Beans wool bucks that you can earn, and I found a way to maximize. I saw this yarn and thought it was so pretty. It's 100% superwash merino. It's SMC extra soft merino color. I don't know what the colorway is. Reds and pinks and whites. Anyway, it's full price, $10 a skein. I needed 3 skeins for the project that I'm doing. Well, it was 50% off, so that dropped it down to $15. Well, $14.85. So it was less than that anyway, about $14.85. Then I had a Jimmy Beans bucks for $7 something. Plus I had a coupon for free shipping. This whole package, including having it shipped to me, was $7.60 something like that. For $30 worth of yarns mailed to me, it was $7 something. Awesome, huh? So, anyways, I have the 3 of these, and they are going to be in a gift. Oh, $7.59 was my total. So, anyway, that will be a gift that I'm going to send off to a friend, and that is everything. I kept this under an hour, and I'm so excited. I'm going to try and get the pictures added in to keep them less than an hour as well, because I know it gets big after it hits an hour. So anyway, I'm going to wrap up. I'm going to say that I am so happy that I got to record today. I'm going to try to record this week to get back onto my regular week schedule. I'll have spinning and knitting to show anyway. So, all right. I hope your spinning and knitting dreams come true this week. And until next time, keep knitting. Bye!
Every Saturday, even sunny when it's gray. Wonder why we make a way to always watch cartoons. We're spinning out of style. It'll only take a while before we cause the pilot lie before our doom. Couldn't ask for better weather. We can do it now because we're both together. I can tell you the time that's better now. We must keep our thoughts in motion. Swim across this freezing ocean. Kick away the cure-all potion. Pow, pow. Pow. You're shooting at the sun with your little water gun, and the web that has been spun a plenty safety net. The jokes are wearing thin, and you wonder where I've been. Well, my body just flew in my ticket out of 10. We'll live happy ever after, laughing at each other's laughter. Tell me what it is you're after. How did you do what you done to me? Making me view what's in front of me. When you're my glasses, I can see far.